needs in music education and live performance. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, under the direction of Karen McGee Hensel, the Shawnee Mission North High School Orchestra.
There. Can you hear me now? Oh, then I'm going to scream at you all. Okay, so for those who didn't hear me before, I'll say it again. We're playing pieces today that are all living composers. So these are people who are still alive and composing today. How about that? This orchestra is comprised of violins, violas, and cellos and basses. If you're not familiar with a string orchestra, I thought I would introduce the different sections. Because we have so many violins, we usually divide them into two sections. So with the first violins, please stand up. There's a whole bunch of first ones. You can clap for them. Yay! They're awesome. Then we have second violins. Now that doesn't mean they're not as good. They're good players. The second violin part is actually harder to play than the first violin part. So here's the second. Stand up, second. Yay. All right. Our violas are over here behind me. I'll get out of the way so they can see you. You may have noticed what's the difference between a violin and a viola. If you hold your violas up, you can notice they're quite a bit bigger than violins. So they have to work a little harder to play them. So yeah, we knew that, violas, right? Yeah. Shall I tell a viola joke? Yes, okay, so here's a viola joke. Why do viola players put their cases on the dashboards of their cars when they park them? Why? So they can park in handicap spots. Oh, that's so mean. That is so mean. I can't believe I said that. All right, we have one lone little cello here today. This is Holly, and she did a beautiful solo, didn't she? Give her another hand on her solo. Stand up, Holly. There you go. Hold your cello up so you can see it. And Holly's cello, as you can see, is quite large, and so she is forced to sit down to play it at all times. So she does a good job back there. And we have 3 double basses. Aren't they special back there? 2 chicks and a guy. There they are. Don't you feel sorry for their parents? They have to carry those around. Yeah, so those are wonderful parents. So anyway, so this is our string orchestra, and this is a standard string orchestra. The next piece we're going to play for you is by a Missouri composer. Yay, Missouri! We're in Missouri, yeah. This is by a young composer named Kurt Mosier, who teaches in the Lee's Summit District over by Kansas City. And he is also a young educator, and so this piece is perfect for the students. Now, it's a little scary sounding. It's called Waltz of the Wicked. Ooh, but don't be frightened. It's not that scary. We think it's a pretty darn good piece, though. So, Waltz of the Wicked.